Hi, I'm TashTheMinion. Welcome to my beginner's guide to the Long Dark. The Long Dark requires the base game. Now I'm showing Steam here. I think it is available on other platforms such as Epic, but I'm a Steam user and this is where they are stored in my particular library. So you get the base game. Now the base game is an open world survival game. It's set in Canada on Great Bear Island, and there is an open world map that you go from region to region, gathering resources and basically just trying to survive. You can then purchase an additional DLC, which is Tales from the Far Territory. It gives you some new regions. We've had some new updates, one quite recently, and there will be another big update next year. You don't have to pay for those updates. You just buy the DLC once and that's it. And then there is story mode. Now in story mode, you follow a very specific story. You go to a few of the regions. It's not so much open world. You can't wander off into other maps. You follow the progress of the particular story. There are 4 episodes so far in the story, with the 5th one due middle to late 2024, we hope. So for the purpose of these videos, I am playing the DLC. So I have the base game and I have the Tales from the Far Territory. Once you've installed your game, you will see this survival menu. Now, I do own Wintermute as well, which is why you can see it there. I think that still shows, but if you tried to click on it without purchasing, it would say that you need to purchase it. So let's talk about survival. With survival, you can create a new game. There are some challenges. So once you're a little bit used to navigating around the game, you can try some of the challenges. So we've got Hopeless Rescue, The Hunted Part 1 and 2, Whiteout Nomad, Archivist, As the Dead Sleep, and Escape the Dark Walker. And we'll talk about those maybe in another series. There are 4 levels, and then there is custom. Now I'm not going to talk about custom in this series. The 4 levels are Pilgrim. Pilgrim is great for new players. It gets you the experience of walking around the maps, looting. The loot's really good. The animals don't attack you, apart from a moose. You just need to be a bit wary around the moose. But generally it's a really good intro into playing the game. The next level is Voyager. Again, this is good for new players, and it's a good balance between actually exploring the maps and having to survive. You get wolves, bears and moose, and they will attack you. Now, Stalker is for more experienced players, and wolves are turned up pretty high in Stalker. It's a much more challenging level. And then Interloper, the weather's worse. There's very little loot. Unlike other levels, you don't start with a bedroll or even matches. It's a pretty difficult level to play. If you check out my other videos, I am currently learning Interloper. I have moved from Voyager into Interloper, and I've got a series of videos which are basically my Twitch streams of me learning Interloper. So for the purpose of these beginners videos, we're going to look at doing a pilgrim world. So before we do that, there are some settings that you might want to take a look at, depending on whether you're using a controller or a mouse and keyboard. The interaction type for opening and closing doors. You can either click and press something or press and hold. I would suggest that as you play the game, you'll find which one's better for you. Struggle and struggle input type. So if you'll get a wolf attack, you can either press and hold a mouse button, or you can quick tap. I suggest you put auto walk on, especially when we're in Pilgrim, because if we're walking a great distance, it's a long time to hold down a button. So I would suggest that you put auto walk on. Now I have eating and drinking filter on. If you put it on, it filters out the eating and drinking, and that's purely because I can't stand the sound of the characters eating and drinking. So that, again, this is just personal preference. Okay, one of the other things, probably not for Pilgrim, because we'll take, there are guns in the form of flare pistols, revolvers and rifles in Pilgrim. Also in Voyager and in Stalker. You don't get any weapons in Loper. But if you're looking for bows and arrows, they get lost in the grass. So I actually, and many other Loper players, have this terrain details density off, so that there's very little grass, and it helps us not keep losing the arrows. Other than that, the settings are pretty much up to whatever you find is best for your playstyle. So when you start a new world, we're going to start a Pilgrim world. It brings up two options. You've got Lower Great Bear. Now this is the base game. This is where the main regions are. And then, as I said earlier, I'm playing particularly on the DLC version. So we've also got the Far Territory, which is the DLC add-on. Now the Far Territory is more hostile, it's a lot colder, and I wouldn't recommend it as a place to start. So getting used to the base game, most of your gameplay will take part in the Lower Great Bear Territory. So once you select that and select confirm, this brings up the Bear Island map, Great Bear Island map, and you can see there's a number of regions. Now you can either randomly spawn in a region, or you can select a region. So you could choose to spawn in Mountain Town, confirm that, or Pleasant Valley, and confirm that. It's entirely up to you. Some regions are more remote than others, Ash Canyon's pretty remote. HRV is pretty remote. Black Rock in all levels apart from Pilgrim has timber wolves. That region and Bleak Inlet, which also has timber wolves, are both quite dangerous. So I'm going to start in Mountain Town, and the reason for that is there's a lot of buildings. It's quite a good loot area, so I can show you some of the bits and pieces. So we'll select Mountain Town and we'll click confirm. Now you can choose to either be Will Mackenzie, who is male, or you can select to be Astrid. I don't know what her surname is. I'm going to assume it's Mackenzie because they were both they were married. I always play as Astrid, so you can confirm that. Now, as you bank up hours in the Long Dark, and if you become as addicted to it as I am and many of my friends on Twitch, you will start building up feats. Now, I'm not going to apply any of those because I want to show you how the game is from absolute scratch. So I'm not going to activate any of my feats. And I'm going to click confirm. You'll be asked to give it a name. So we're going to call this Pilgrim Beginner. Select accept and the game starts loading up. And we'll press any key to continue. So this is a good spawn. We've actually spawned in a building, so this isn't too bad a spawn. So at any point in the game, you can hit the escape key or probably the hamburger bar on a controller maybe, and pause the game. Now this is a proper pause, so if you've got a fire burning, it will pause. If you're about to be attacked by something and you want to take a breath and get yourself orientated, it will actually pause. It's a full pause to the gameplay. Nothing is still going on in the background. So we go back to the game. So before we get into the game, let's talk about your inventory. Now, I don't know the controller options for this. You should find the controller instructions in the menu, but for mouse and keyboard, it's I. This opens up your backpack. Now you have a weight limit of 30 kilos that you can carry around, and it's pretty quick to get full and then start getting overweight. This weight allowance will start dropping if you are hungry or tired, if you get injured, and then you'll start to become over encumbered, and your walking will get slower and slower. You will lose the ability to sprint. Things will become quite difficult. So this backpack symbol is everything you've got, and it's either sorted alphabetically or you can sort it by weight. So it's good if you want to see what's the heaviest thing that you're carrying and be able to drop it. This little flame symbol here is all the kit you've got for starting fires. The first aid symbol is your painkillers, bandages, disinfectant. The clothes are the clothing items that you've got in your backpack or that you're wearing. It includes what you're wearing, and if you're wearing it, you will see this little triangle in the corner. The can is your food and drinks. The little hatchet is your tools, basically, so your bedroll, any flares. Once we start crafting torches, you'll see your torches in there, sewing kit, etc. And then the little hammer and anvil is anything that you've got in your inventory that you can craft with. This can be things like cloth, which is used for repairing clothes, or it can be things like picked rose hips or reishi mushrooms, etc., that you can craft to make teas. Along the top we've got our health bar. So we're in the, you can see here, we're in the backpack at the moment. You can go to clothes. This shows you the clothes that you're wearing. So we've got say this scarf on. Now here it shows you the condition. So this is at 81%. It's not too bad. We've got the warmth bonus and protection, windproof, etc. Here, and kind of the weight. You can double layer, so you can have 2 headpieces. You can have 2 headpieces, so it could be a scarf and a hat, it could be 2 hats. You can have 2 jackets. There's a number of different coats and jackets that you can find within the game when you're looting. Different jumpers or tops, different glove types. We have some accessories here that can be things like crampons or ear wraps, maybe a down protector, etc. 2 pairs of trousers, 2 pairs of thermal underwear, 2 pairs of socks, and a pair of shoes. Now, what this will tell you here is what your current warmth bonus is. The clothing that our character is wearing at the moment gives us a +4. So the aim is to get ourselves a much better warmth bonus. This is your status. So we've got your warmth, your tiredness, your liquid, whether you're thirsty or not, and your hunger here. Okay, and here it will tell you if you've got any afflictions or not. So if you stay out in the cold too long, you might see a hypothermia risk, and I'll show you some of these as we go on. This is the crafting menu. So if we've picked anything that we can craft, it will show at the top here. At the moment, because we've got 1 piece of cloth, it's saying that we can craft some bandages. And then there's cooking pot recipes. Now, that some require a pot, some require a skillet, and I'm not sure what that is about recycled canned recipes. I don't think I've ever used that. So, and then here's your journal. So your journal shows your days as you mount them up and where you've been, and it kind of records. So this is day 1 for us, and it's already recorded that we're in Mountain Town and we're in Milton House. If certainly on higher levels where you are leaving key loot somewhere because you can't carry everything, there is a editable journal here where you can actually write important notes. So you would type in your note and click done, and then at any time you can go back to your journal and see where you've left something. And a lot of loper players will use this to record where they've put down saplings, for example, or deer hides, bear hides, etc., that are all curing. Now, also in the journal are your skills. You'll start everything on 1. And these skills go up as you carry out the activities. So fire starting, for example, to start fires on levels 1 and 2, you need to have tinder, and we'll look at those more when we start doing some fires. But you can build up levels, and the higher your levels get, the better your skills are. So that's a bit of an overview of your backpack and your menu, how to see your status, etc. So once you're actually in a building, basically you need to search everything. So you can start in rooms and you're searching for loot. You can break down cloth. So we're going to use the hand here to break down this, because sometimes there's something behind it. Today it's a can of soda. Sometimes it's a coffee. Sometimes it's a maple. Sometimes it's a mag lens. Right, see here we've got revolver ammunition, so we'll take that in case we find a revolver. And it's just about searching different places. You know, flare shell in the sink, why not? Check the baths. You find stuff in the baths quite a lot. Another useful tip, if you need cloth, you can break down curtains, because you need cloth to repair items. So if you go to your clothes, what we got, that's 100. So we've got this hoodie that we're wearing. It's 42%. That's pretty poor. That wouldn't last if you got into a wolf struggle. Also, the poorer the quality, the less warmth bonus you'll get from it. So if you've got cloth and a sewing kit, which we have, you can highlight it, click on actions, click on repair. Now sometimes this will fail, sometimes it won't. And we've now got a 72%, and it says decent hoodie. So curtains is a great way of getting cloth. The other thing you can do, also towels you can get cloth from. You can get potable water from toilets. So we can take all of the water out of the toilet Now, you'll never be able to do it again, but it's useful if you're unable to make a fire to get water. Then you need to look for things like this, thermal underwear. Okay, when you find it, put it on your character, and you can double click in the box and it will automatically put it on for you. So you can see here now we've increased our warmth bonus by 1. We're wearing 2 sets of underwear. And then you can search drawers. Check tables, make sure you check behind lamps. It's about really checking everything. We have a decent light shell here. Again, we're going to put that straight on. That's put our warmth bonus up to 6 now, and it's not a bad percentage. So we're not going to do much about that. We've got some socks. So let's put those on. And then we search all the drawers that we can. Right, we've got more socks there. So then you want to check the condition. So these are raggedy wool socks. These are 28% actually. But sports socks are thin and cotton. So these are 95. These are 67. What I would do, you can harvest clothes that you don't want. So if you were low on cloth and you'd found clothes that you don't want, you can harvest them. That makes cloth, as you can see, come up in the top right. And then you can use them because we want to keep wool socks. Wool socks are thicker, they're better quality for warmth. So now we've got 83. Better warmth bonus. Check your floors. You can crouch and just check on shelves. Check drawers. Right, we've got a decent hat there. This is the hat that most players want. So I'm going to replace this scarf that's not that protective with the wool tuck. So I'm going to wear it from there. Now I can either break this down for cloth or I can drop it, which is what I'm inclined to do. I don't want to be carrying around excess clothing with me. Check any beds and then just do a double check, just crouch and make sure there's nothing under the beds. We've got cloth here that we can break down. Cabinet here. And then we have another room. I can see something sticking out. What we got? More sports socks. I'm going to leave those there because really what we want is another pair of wool socks. Matches. You'll want matches. We have a revolver cartridge here. We might as well take that. And another one there. So this is what we call looting. And this is basically where you start gathering all the bits and pieces that you need. And a quick check under the bed again. Nothing. Okay, so we can go downstairs now. So I'm not going to what we got here? We've got a scarf. Right, let's just pop that on that table. I'm not going to loot too much. Accelerant's useful to start a quick fire. This is firewood. This is what you need to get the fires started. So you'll find various different firewoods around. Coal for fuel. You can use books for fuel. Now these are just standard books, so if you pick them up they appear as just these sort of books here. And the reason why I'm pointing these out is because there are also learning books for knowledge. They help get your skills up higher quicker if you find the right book and you read it, basically. So that'll help increase your skills. And you can see here, because we mended a couple of items, our mending's going up, so we're on our way now. Let's just check. There's a tinder plug there which we need. There's some wood there. There is a cooking pot. Cooking pots are very useful for making water, for cooking porridge and some other items. There's things like carrots, tinder plugs. Now I don't want to spoil the adventure too much for you. We've got things like potatoes that you can cook. We've got another cooking pot here. Now you get tinned food. This is pork and beans. You can cook this. This will warm you and be a food source. If you haven't found a can opener, however, you have to smash the can open. It uses more calories of your condition, and you can you'll lose the can. But if you find a can opener, you actually get the can back, an empty can back, which is pretty useful for warming stuff up in as well. Got a cooking pot in here, potatoes, etc. And then when you get into like a room like the kitchen, it's things like cupboards. Search all your cupboards. More canned food. We've got broth here, which is used in stews and things. So what you can do then is start a fire. Now, this is what we call a six ring stove. There are not that many in the world. There's 2 here in Mountain Town. A couple in PV, and I'm not sure of the locations of most of the others. There's certainly one in the zone of contamination, but only one. So they're useful, and people tend to set up their bases when they're exploring a region in somewhere that has a 6-ring stove. So there's this type. You get little potbelly stoves, or indeed you get the fireplace. Now some of the buildings have these fireplaces, and there's usually 2 cooking slots on a fireplace. Or you'll just be outside and you need to light a fire. Whether you're using a stove, a potbelly stove, a fireplace, or making a fire outside, the process is pretty much the same. You click over it and start fire. Now you can take the charcoal if you want to map areas, let's take this, and I can show you about mapping the areas in a minute. So let's H to put that away, because it'll just drive me up the wall otherwise. So you start a fire, and it says you need to have the starter, which is matches or a torch or even a flare, tinder and a fuel source, and then you've got a chance of success here. And the more fires that you light, the more fire starting skill you get, and therefore the better chance you'll have of success of lighting a fire. You can use an accelerant. An accelerant pretty much guarantees 100%. And just to keep this moving, we'll use an accelerant. Okay, so once you start a fire, you can see it's saying it's a stove, and it's got 15, 16, 15, and that's the time going down. That's how long left your fire is going to burn, and you will see that again, whether it's a stove, a potbelly stove, or an outdoor fire or a fireplace. It will always let you know how much longer it's going to burn. So what you can do is add fuel. So we picked up some cedar firewood, so let's add that. And then you can use things like pots on top, and you can make water, and you can melt snow. So you could do anywhere up to 2 litres, but 2 litres takes about 2 in-game hours for the water. So let's just do half a litre. We'll cook that. And then whatever you're cooking, so if we say we were cooking a potato, and this is the same for potatoes, canned goods, making teas or whatever, it will always tell you how long it's going to take to finish. So this potato is going to take 57 minutes. Our water goes in 2 parts. It melts the snow, so that's part 1, and then after it's melted the snow, it needs to boil the water. Once it's melted the snow, it becomes unpotable. That means it's not safe to drink. So it's a 2-part process. So we're not going to have a lot, or we might just have enough. So another useful thing is if you've got a lot of stuff on the go that you want to cook, and you want to speed things along, and you've got plenty of fuel for your fire, you can actually speed up the process, and you can pick up the pot and then press the space bar, and that speeds up the process. You can see our fire's gone down at the same time, our potatoes gone down at the same time. Now we've got potable water, and it's 42 minutes until it's boiled dry. If it boils dry, it disappears. So this is the time that we can pick it up and take it. I'm going to put that book on. While that potato's cooking, we've got another 24 minutes. I'm going to get a few more books and just pop them in as a fuel source to give us a bit longer. So we've got 17 minutes there, 1 hour there. Okay. So the other thing that you'll need fires and stoves for is for carrying torches. You need torches when you're navigating through caves. You need torches when you're navigating through mines. You need torches when you're navigating in the dark. When you progress to Voyager, you will need torches to help deal with wolves and the such. So it's a good habit to get into, of having some torches with you. To get the torch, again, you're at the stove point and you just click take torch, and then you left mouse button down to extinguish it, H to put it away, and you will see it then in your inventory. And you can light these at any time, and I'll show you how that works on the radio menu shortly. So our potatoes nearly ready. We'll put that one out, put it away. 1 minute. Right, our potatoes cooked. I'm going to take that. I'm not going to eat it yet. We're going to take a couple more torches. And we'll talk through the very basics of the radio menu. You can take the torches down to the last 10 minutes of a fire. After 10 minutes, you can't take any torches. Okay. Spacebar takes you to the radio menu. Here you will find the food. So you keep holding the spacebar down, and you can, if you select this cereal bar now, it will eat it straight away by clicking on using the left mouse button. If we wanted to eat that potato straight away, we would click on the button. Here you get your drinks, so you can drink water, or you can drink, soda or teas or coffees if you've got them in your menu. Torches, you can pick a torch from the menu and then left button to light it. Now if you've got different types of matches, it will ask you which one to do. I can't say whether this is true or not, but I've always been advised use the cardboard matches for your torches, because wood matches are better for the fire. I don't know if that's urban myth. I am not a scientific player. I can strongly recommend some videos of people that are scientific players. This is just a beginner's guide for the absolute novice who just wants to have a go at the long dark. From here you can also access first aid, so if you do get into a wolf struggle or you do have a sprained ankle, it's easier to get a bandage through here. And we'll do a few sprains and that along the way, and you can see how this works. If you've got any weapons, it will be here. And here you can quickly put down a bedroll or a pot if you've got them. We can also pass time, and I will talk about that again at another time. Okay, so once you've explored every nook and cranny, you might want to move on to the next building. So let's take our first look outside. Right, so the weather's pretty windy out here. Now we are in Pilgrim, so we don't need to worry too much. This is Mountain Town. We just heard a wolf, but it's running away as expected. There he is over there. And as I said earlier, it's a lone survival game, so it's just you trying to survive. That sound was a wolf killing a rabbit. And it's basically, there's another wolf down there, look. Search anything, newsprint, until you get to fire starting 3 is useful for Tinder. Now, Mountain Town in other difficulties is a bit of a nightmare for wolves, to be fair. So it's a good job we're in Pilgrim and they can leave us alone. And then it's basically just searching any building that's not barred up. So you left click mouse button, that's your action button. I think we'll have to light a torch in here because it's getting a bit dark now. So you light your torch and then it's all about looting. So anything that you can find. You know, we need a better coat, for example. Now, things like chairs, you can break down, but as you can see, when you click on the left button, it says you need a hatchet to do it. And then you get containers like this. Oh, more water. That's not bad. Not a lot up here, though. So we'll go loot downstairs. Okay. Oats. As long as you've got a cooking pot, that's a really good food source. It warms you up. So I'm really just looking for some tea or coffee, which would be a big help. In fact, I know where there's some. So this is lamp fuel. You can use it either as an accelerant or as for lanterns, if you find a lantern. And it's search everything, even down to oven and freezers, all sorts. Ah, can opener, that's useful. We can show how that works later. So I'm not going to mega loot this. I don't want to take away from your own experience. Now, this is quite windy out here. This wind's going to blow out our torch. The other thing that you can loot is vehicles. Hold on. Let's just get... Let's see if there's a coffee in here. Yeah, so in here, this is a tin of coffee. These are the things that you really want. And we'll come back and loot that another time. Okay. Other things that you can loot are things like vehicles. So you can actually enter the vehicle. Check the floor. Check down the side. So we've got cloth here. Check the glove box. And even check visors. Okay, now we're going to throw our torch, we're going to select a new torch, we're going to walk up to the existing one and light our torch. That's a good way of keeping a torch chain going, so you don't waste matches, keep lighting a torch. In Pilgrim, we will find tons and tons of matches. It won't ever really be a problem. In Loper, you don't even start with matches. So keeping torch chains going, learning how to do it is a really good skill to get practicing. You can, staying with the vehicles, with the cars, Again, you can get in the front, check the floor, got a candy bar on the dash. Again, check the visors. And the reason we check the visors is because you might find some useful hints and tips in there. We've got a cotton scarf on the back seat. We're going to leave that. And you can search the trunk as well, but that's empty. Now, some of the trunks you cannot search. Like this one, it's got the red padlock and you need a pry bar to be able to open it. In some buildings, let's go back to, I think I might find that in here. In some buildings you find things like these lockers. Now, if there's no padlock, you can search them. But if it's got a red padlock, we need the pry bar to do that. Okay, let's change our torch again. So, one of the other important things that you need to do is basically pick up sticks. You'll need to keep a good supply of sticks on you at any one time for fires. They start fires better than the more solid pieces of wood. Not as good as books though. So this is what you're looking for. Sticks. So is the wind dropped? I think so. So if you're outdoors, let's find a few more sticks first, guys. Should get a few more in here. There we go. So go up sticks. Scare the deer. Okay. And then you can oops. I'm going to light torch because I don't want to use a match. And you can put down a fire. I pressed the number 4 to make it quick, or you could do it from the radio menu. Now, if it's not in a position suitable for a fire, it will be red. When it goes green, you can start the fire. And then you select your starter. Now I've got a lit torch, so I'm going to use a torch. I'm going to use that. You can use a book or you can use a stick. The book has a better percentage, so let's use that. But once you've exhausted your supply of books, you're going to need sticks. But sticks are also a fuel. We are novices at fire starting, so it's failed. So we need to try again. This dial also, as your fire starting skill increases, gets a little bit faster. Right, we have our fire lit. Right, we want to add some fuel. So we've picked up some sticks, so we can add those as fuel. Now, let's put our torch out for now. We don't need it lit. The fire has 2 cooking slots. So what you can do is place down a can, and as long as you've got water in your inventory, we're going to cook some coffee, and you can actually make a cup of coffee. So we'll cook that. "12 minutes till ready." We've got 30 minutes on the fire. You can pick it up and make it go quicker, so it's done as soon as it says until it's burned. You can take it, and then what you can see is in your food, we've now got this cup of coffee. We can warm these up. You want to make a lot of these and keep them, and then warm them up for when you're in colder climates. Take our can because we don't want to lose it. We're going to take our torch. We're going to walk back to Grandmother's. We'll pick up a few sticks if we see them. Grandmother's is the house that we spawned in. It's called Grandmother's because it's from the Wintermute story mode. And we'll end the episode there. Still got deer running around. But we'll end the episode there, and then in the next one we'll do a bit more wandering outside, having a look at how to harvest berries and the such like. Run, get to Grandmother's. So it's called Milton House, but from the Wintermute story mode, it's referred to as Grandmother's. Now, when you walk through a door, you'll see the saving symbol come up. So most buildings and some of the transition caves are save points. So your game will save at that point. So you can quit out of it now. Now you can see how my torch is nearly dead. Let's wait for it to go out. Okay, but I'm going to quit the game because I've saved it. Quit the game, confirm. If I go back into the game, it starts from the exact point that I walked through the door. So you see my torch is still lit. So it won't save any actions you've done after you've saved unless you do another save. So that's just a quick getting started with the game. I hope that you find that helpful. And I'll see you on the next episode. Bye.